reports that Russian intelligence officials offered bounties to Taliban-linked militants to kill U.S. troops in Afghanistan. The White House is pushing back, saying the president and vice president were never briefed about it.
There is no consensus within the intelligence community on these allegations, and in effect, there are dissenting opinions from some in the intelligence community with regards to the veracity of what's being reported, and the veracity of the underlying allegations continue to be evaluated. I would just point you back to the absolutely irresponsible decision of the New York Times to falsely report that he was briefed on something that he in fact was not briefed on.
Exactly. Democrats are calling for investigations, and Speaker Pelosi is hyping a conspiracy theory.
This is as bad as it gets, and yet the president will not confront the Russians on this score.
Look at this crazy wench.
These are not his administration. No, just as I've said to the president, with him all roads lead to Putin. He will not, I don't know what the Russians have on the president politically.
You know what she's been doing? She had facial surgery.
Jesse, how many times are we going to do this Lucy football trick with the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Russian foreign policy stories? I mean, they think we're idiots at this point. they do. I mean, at least things are back to normal. Trump's getting accused of being a Russian agent. I guess
more Russian BS.
Things are starting to look like they used to. So here's what they do, though, Dan. This is a very well scripted and orchestrated intelligence leak to do two things. One, when you have some sort of hater in the intelligence community that takes a piece of raw, unverified intelligence that no one's even agreed upon is true, and then they leak it to a New York Times reporter and then spin it and lie about the fact that the president's been briefed on it to make the president look weak against Russia or the fact that Russia has something on him. So it creates this Russian cloud around the president. That's the first thing. The second thing that accomplishes is it keeps the president tied down in Afghanistan. There's a lot of people that want the United States to stay in Afghanistan. The Russians want the United States to stay tied down in Afghanistan. There's a lot of people in arms contractors want us to stay there. A lot of ideologues do. There's a lot of people in the foreign intelligence or the foreign policy community. They want us in Afghanistan. The Taliban hasn't attacked U.S. soldiers since February, since that so-called truce was signed. So that keeps this post-Cold War order together in a way that people can stay prosperous and the line is clearly drawn. But it's a lie.
I'm a little confused
It's
about
just another lie.
Yeah, well,
And I'm supposed to help you get
do that
unconfused?
really well. Yeah, I need you to unconfuse me for a moment here. So, listen, the story appears to be fake. Not that the Russians may have paid the Taliban. We don't know. That's unconfirmed. But that President Trump was briefed. But where was the equal media outrage when the Obama administration actually did pay the death to America Iranians? I mean, that's not fake news. Like, that actually
Exactly,
happened.
that actually happened.
When they do.
Billions and billions of
There's plenty
dollars.
of outrage on that, I think, from a lot of people. I certainly hear about it from a lot of people that I know that still are very mad about the Iran deal. I can't speak to the media. I mean, I think the problem, frankly, is that our institutions are not trusted, and they are broken on both sides of the aisle and both left and right media. And I think this is just another example of the cracks that are, at the foundations of our system. This is obviously incredibly serious. If there's any truth to what Russia has done, it needs to be verified, it needs to be examined, it needs to be followed up on, and we need to act appropriately as a nation and treat Russia as an adversary, because our troops should never be put in harm's way. They should not have a bounty on their head. Now, but here's the thing, we don't know 100%. We need to not jump to conclusions, whether it's Democrats jumping to conclusions, the media jumping to conclusions, and we also need to talk about undermining the institutions. Now, we see the White House saying, well, the intelligence community hasn't verified this, there's conflicting statements, but we've also seen President Trump previously not trust the intelligence community. So do we trust the intelligence community or not? And frankly, the American public is consuming all of this, and they don't know what to believe, and that's why I think we see such a divided nation.
Well, I think it's nothing to trust. He wasn't briefed, according to the story. But Dana, you haven't been a White House insider, being the face of the White House at that podium. Have you ever seen a volume of intelligence community leaks like you've seen under this administration? It's outrageous.
Well, you kind of lose track, but I'm definitely old enough to remember when the National Intelligence Estimate came out around 2007, and there was a footnote in it that suggested that the United States of America and the position of the President of the United States was that Iran was not seeking to try to get a nuclear weapon, which was not true. And it took, in fact, Dan, we went to the Middle East to meet with world leaders to explain to them that that wasn't our position. That's how bad that kind of thing can be. So when I first saw this story, I thought three things can be true at the same time. Number one, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Putin would do this. And that I don't necessarily think it's just about what's happening in Afghanistan. We are in the middle of a proxy war with Russia on a lot of different fronts. Remember what happened between the United States military and the Russian soldiers back in Syria a year or so ago. That was the right thing to do, that President Trump ordered that mission.
Yeah.
Second thing that could also be true is that that this is not verified, or that one person heard something, another intel agency is not really sure, that there's conflicting information, and so you get one leak, and then you have this problem, as Jesse was pointing out. But the third thing that can be true is that politically, the Democrats will pick this up and run with it. They already have ads out. So all of those things can be true at the same time, and I think that the White House is right to do the briefings. They had members of Congress there today, Republican members of Congress. Tomorrow, Steny Hoyer, the Democrat from Maryland, he will take a group of folks to the White House and see if we can get to the bottom of it. But you're right. I mean, obviously the president wasn't briefed, and that is bearing out today.
Emily, your thoughts?
I see two issues here. One is whether the president was briefed or not, and then also the credibility of single source reporting. There's a difference between full intelligence products and also singular operational intelligence and single source reporting. And if something is put in front of the president or the NSC, that is a finished intelligence product. That means there were thousands of analytical manpower and exhaustive horsepower put into that thing before it rose to that level. And therefore, singular operational or single source reports always raise verification and credibility questions, right? Including, as Dana pointed out, who or what might benefit from purposeful agitation. And to Capri's point about the briefing, I think we all have to acknowledge, just as Americans, that Trump does have a bit of sensitivity, obviously, with especially Russian intelligence and the intelligence community. So perhaps he wasn't briefed if they thought, well, maybe he won't believe us anyway, or maybe we'll wait until there's further verification, or a whole host of potentials about that, as Dana pointed out, all of
The boy that cried wolf.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Making a big prediction about the 2020
They screwed the
election.
pooch
I'll tell you,
with the Russian hoax. Lost all credibility.